I love a good night adventure. Don't you? Takes more than bad traffic and detours to stop me. Tonight, we make our fourth stop at a familiar place in the Baltimore area. This is the Security Square Mall. Security Square Mall gets its name from the Social Security Administration offices just up the road, and the mall's story would begin in 1969 when Eddie DeBartolo began to purchase land in Woodlawn, Maryland, an unincorporated province just off of I-695. All would go well in clearing the red tape, and construction would begin before the mall would officially open in 1972 with Hochschild Cons and a handful of stores, followed by Sears and Baltimore's first JCPenney in 1973. The mall would also see a twin-screen cinema and many more stores open up within the mall. With success kicking up its heels at the mall, Hecht's, seen ahead, would come and open in an expansion of the mall in 1979. This expansion would allow Security Square Mall to enjoy the title of Baltimore's largest shopping mall for a short time. Things seemed well, although the mall would change ownership from DeBartolo to JMB Realty in 1983. And in 1984, Hochschild and Cons would be acquired by Hutzler's and would be reconfigured heavily to fit the Hutzler's image. In 88, JMB Realty announced a two-phase renovation that would bring forth an updated image to the mall, which included a large skylight over the center court, alongside a new front entrance between Sears and Hecht's. The mall would also see a new food court come into the mall just before Hecht's. This would remove the old two-screen cinema, but would bring forth a larger cinema to the mall as an out parcel. Things began to go wrong as the Hutzler's company folded in 1989, liquidating all of its assets. In 1991, however, Montgomery Ward jumped for the vacancy left behind by Hutzler's. Meanwhile, JMB put the mall up for sale in 1994 and would eventually find a buyer, Capital Investments Associates. No, not Moonbeam. Thank Emmy. Capital Investments would commit to the mall with a new renovation, which would bring forth some lovely looking neon, as well as an updated security system. In 2001, Montgomery Ward and JCPenney would both close down, dealing some heavy blows to the mall. This was addressed, however, as Montgomery Ward would be subletted and gradually occupied by a handful of smaller tenants, including a trade school, restaurant, Model Sports, USA Liquidators, and a Bayet Furniture Liquidator. JCPenney, meanwhile, would begin its path to infamy as a third party purchased the space and converted it into Seoul Plaza, a mall within a mall concept. The company had done a Seoul Plaza concept in the past, and that concept had proven to be successful. The Seoul Plaza at this mall, however, failed catastrophically, and the space is now under ownership by a megachurch foundation. Hecht's, as we all know, was vored by Macy's. Macy's moved into this location, but didn't seem to do much with the space beyond downsizing the sales floor upstairs. Macy's would let this particular store slip into neglect, with complaints of disrepair coming from staff almost constantly. We'll get a closer look at this Macy's later and discuss its situation. Regarding Security Square Mall, the mall would change ownership a few times over the 2000s and 2010s. In 2017, a developer proposed a plan to redevelop the mall by demolishing the mall and rebuilding an outdoor lifestyle center. So far, those plans have not materialized any further, and was even met by some opposition by local shoppers. While Security Square Mall's future seems hazy and uncertain, the mall still enjoys modest success with a more affordable tenant base. I was hoping to catch Faded Commerce and Raw and Real Retail here, but I fell a step behind them thanks to traffic while getting from Harbor Place to here. Ah well, we can still take in the sights of this mall, which does look awesome to say the least, with little bits of neon scattered about among stores, as well as the neon signs that hang above the main entrance and customer service desk. There is plenty happening visually with this mall even after the renovations, which even seem to go into complementing this mall further. If you look closely throughout the mall though, you can find hints of neglect and disrepair scattered about the mall, particularly around the large skylight in the center court where the tinting is starting to peel away and some panes of glass are even cracked. Macy's, though, is the biggest offender of neglect, even worse than Sears. And just up ahead is Montgomery Ward. Well, was Montgomery Ward. The building has been altered heavily to make way for multiple tenants to take up residence inside, including Bayet Furniture Liquidation, which seems to be the only tenant that has mall access. All in all, it's good to at least see that the building is being put to use instead of being left to rot away. Overall, it appears that Security Square Mall has maintained an audience for itself. The mall doesn't seem to be in too bad a shape tenant-wise, and while the surrounding area is rather shady, I didn't feel like I was in danger. If you're in the area, then by all means, come on out to Security Square Mall. With talks of redevelopment and gentrification on the way, there's no telling how much longer this mall will stand, so come on out and see it, before it's too late. And back to the center court we come, and we'll make our way back toward the food court. While here, there was just one Paul Blart that I could see in the entire mall, and the guy was just bored out of his mind staring at his phone. A shame he didn't look up, he would have seen me. There is a pretty broad mix of tenants in this mall. You still have the mainstays like Bath & Body Works, Jimmy Jazz, Auntie Annie's, and even Claire's, but in addition, you have plenty of off-brand stores and locally run businesses. Hell, there's even this leatherware shop and a wig shop elsewhere in the mall. It's a bit like this mall's in a time warp. I like it. And there's Macy's. Before we leave, we gotta go take a look inside. We gotta see what the staff are complaining about. Right away, you can see the store is pretty worn out and tired looking. The tile floors are discolored in some spots, hinting at quick fixes done in the store. But all in all, first impressions aren't too bad. However, as we get deeper into Macy's, you can start to see stains and other weird marks in the carpet. Staff have complained about this store smelling pretty rough, and I am sure that would stem from the dirty carpet. This Macy's store particularly looks rough on the outside, with backlighting for their signs not working properly, and many lights coming off as dingy and faded out. This second floor of Macy's looks pretty sad, in my opinion. Very few shoppers, and I don't think I saw much in the way of staff up here. And in addition, there's this set of double doors back here, which opens out into what may have been more sales floor at one time, but now it's just a graveyard of fixtures and mannequins. If there was ever a Macy's that shouted closing soon, I have a bad feeling it'd be this one. Who knows when that would happen, and with Sears on the other end of the mall, either store closing down would be a serious blow to this one. Despite all of this, though, there are still a few neat touches scattered about in this mall from Hecht's era. It's like this building hasn't been touched by Macy's besides sign replacement. Anyway, while we're headed down the escalators, we are nearing the end of the video. I do hope that you enjoyed the tour of Security Square Mall. What did you like about the mall? And while on the topic, what didn't you like about this mall? Share some comments down below after dropping a like or dislike. Also, keep an eye out for Faded Commerce's presentation on this mall, as well as Raw and Real Retail's walkthrough of this mall. And if you want to see a more nitty-gritty experience with this mall, then do take a look at Sal's channel, as he has a very extensive presentation on this mall. If you want to keep the discussion going about Security Square Mall with me, Sal, Faded Commerce, or Raw and Real Retail, then there is always the Dead Malls Discord server, where you can talk with all of us and so many more, like Ace's Adventures, Retail Archaeology, A to Z Retail, Unicom Productions. Too many creators to name, really. Just look for the link down below and answer a few questions with our moderators over there. It's easy as 1, 2, and 3. Do stick around and subscribe, because after this, we'll make our way out to the Neon Paradise on the south side of Baltimore. You know which one I'm talking about. Until next time, though, this is Doomie Grunt, wishing you and the Security Square Mall farewell and good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Aren't we forgetting something? Oh yeah, that's right. If we're gonna go to Security Square Mall, then we gotta see Seoul Plaza. Let's go see that, and then we'll be on our way. For this walk, though, I'm going to cut the music so you can hear this place for what it is. This could very well be one of its final days. This is definitely a very spooky place to be in. I didn't feel like I should be anywhere near here. But since Seoul Spa was still holding out, I was still able to access this property legally. It's very creepy. The Megachurch Foundation now owns this property and is currently bending the property to their will, so this building will at least get a new life. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Until next time, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you, Security Square Mall, and Seoul Plaza farewell.